Music is a great way to learn a new language, though it can be frightening as well. It is great to just fill your free time, since you can listen to it anywhere and everywhere. You can even listen to foreign language music while doing the laundry or going about your everyday life. You're washing the dishes, you just turn on the music, headphones on. You're vacuuming? Okay, there is some bass in the background, but still headphones on. There is just unlimited time that you can use to listen to music. Even if you don't actively try to decode the words and understand them, they just subconsciously jump into your mind. And once you are actually trying to absorb them by reading, or you actually type them into your phone and translate them, it is much easier to comprehend them, much easier to memorize them. For example, I like to listen to one song again and again, and each time I listen to the song again, I can find myself understanding new phrases. Like the first time, I could understand barely 2 sentences of a song. Then the next time, I can understand a third, fourth, and so on and so on. I think it's because each time we are focusing on the easiest link of the song to decode. And once we decode that link, we move on to the next easiest link and shift our focus there. And so we shift our focus until we understand all of it. Naturally, to do that, you need to understand the vocabulary that the song uses beforehand. You won't ever learn it from listening to the song. You don't have enough sentences in the song to learn the words through instant learning by just getting the words through the context. And the singer, for whatever reason, doesn't really use translations in his song. But even if it's something so simple and brain dead, where you don't really need to focus any attention onto it, it can be really helpful in your language learning. However, as with everything, there is a downside, and it can be quite fatal. Because each time you listen to a song, you get happy, right? You just like it, you enjoy it. And this enjoyment is caused by a hormone that your brain produces when you are liking something. This hormone is called dopamine. And when your dopamine levels rise to a certain level, they kept there, they can't rise anymore. You are at the max of your happiness, you can't get any happier, but your brain, the part of your brain that produces this hormone, this dopamine, just gets exhausted. So it can't produce dopamine anymore, and you start getting sadder. Your dopamine levels get lower and lower, but they don't stop at the normal, because that part of your brain that produces it is just exhausted. They go even lower, below your normal levels, because your brain can't produce it anymore. And that's where depression kicks in. You get so sad that you can just fall into depression. Just because you listened to music, you got yourself into depression. And you don't want that, do you? Not just because it makes you sadder. I mean, who cares? I can be sad. But because your language learning progress is slower. Because people in depression, it is clinically tested, are just dumber. Dumbly said. They can't focus, they can't study as well as a happy person. And so you don't want to get yourself into this depression, into this state where you can't study well, because you aren't as effective as you could be. You can do 2 things to avoid this depression caused by the dopamine peak and the dopamine low. You can either cut music and other stimulating mediums, like movies maybe, completely off, like you give up on them, and just focus on the difficult things. For example, language learning through reading books. I love that, I recommend it, 100%. Though that can be kind of difficult, especially if you're not used to it. The other way is that you just restrict yourself and make yourself listen to music less. It sounds easy to just tell yourself that, okay, each day I will listen to music only for 2 hours and then cut it off. I won't allow myself to listen anymore. Though it really takes a strong as will, to tell yourself that, okay, I've listened to music for 2 hours, this is enough. Especially when your brain is telling you that, okay, we're partying, disco, this is the time of my life, I really like this music, I want to listen to more. In other words, when your dopamine levels haven't peaked yet. So you either force yourself to read books and focus on the difficult mediums, where you are kind of bored, or you tell yourself to stop in the middle of listening music, where you get this disco party mood, and then need to punch yourself, more or less, punch your brain into submission, and tell it to that's enough, 2 hours of music is enough, and shut it off. As I said, that's difficult. But the first one, the book reading, is difficult as well. It's really up to you what you value the most. But either way, you always need to push through. Whichever path you choose, be it the book reading or the cutting of music after 2 hours, you need to push through on the other decision. You need to keep to your word and make sure you avoid the depression. Because once you reach that low, you can't really get to the normal so quickly. It will be difficult, but it will save you from the unproductive sadness.